Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us on this January 13th, 2016. Happy New Year, like always. Still, for the month of January, Ken, you pretty much can still say Happy New Year.
Oh, sure, because it's still relatively new. We haven't worn it out yet.
Nope. And, of course, what's brand new and coming back, I'm so excited, is the Los Angeles Rams. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, NFL. The fans in Los Angeles deserve a football team. They got their team taken away. I am so excited. The LA Rams are back. Great tradition like Vince Ferragamo and so many great players that played for the Rams over the years. This is Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. Sports highlights on nnpstv.com, an interview show. Tell your friends about 1650 on Twitter. Go to my website, gjbtv.com. You'll see my 4 Twitter handles. Greg Bick, Sports Highlight, GJB TV, and HROnlineMall.com. Thank you to our military. Great guest lineup. Featured guest today is Mike Burnop, the voice of Virginia Tech. Guest lineup presented by Mi Casita Mexican Restaurant with 2 locations. Phone line presented by Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. Sponsors this month for me on WHKT, Fink's Car Care, Me Hogar, Crawl Space, Spaghetti Eddies, Newcastle, Long's Billiards as well. Congratulations to Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza in the Hall of Fame. Testimonials a little bit later from CP Shuckers, Outback, and Saffron as well. So a lot going on. And, of course, the playoffs as well this weekend. Looking forward to that, too, as well. Again, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. This is Sports Scene. Save the date every Wednesday from noon to 1, 1650 a.m. on the radio. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Again, a very exciting day in all of the NFL with the LA Rams coming back. Very excited. Again, with the LA Rams coming back to the NFL, they should have been there all along. Well-deserved, Los Angeles. Congratulations. The Rams are back again in 2016 in the NFL. All right, along with Ken Johnson, Greg Bicouvaris, this is Sports Scene. Want to welcome Mike Burnop. He's been doing Virginia Tech for several years, football and basketball, played at Virginia Tech, and Mike has been a regular on Sports Scene when I work for the Redskins radio and this station as well. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing well, Greg. Good to see you. Happy New Year, guys.
Very good, very good. Happy New Year to you as well. Let's get right to it, first of all, and I want to be transparent because you've always been transparent and been very clear with us, too, and I want to get right to Virginia Tech here, and Coach Beamer's son, of course, now is an assistant with Georgia. Did you expect it when he announced his resignation pretty much midway through the season. Of course, it was a nice farewell because it wasn't like he sprung it on the Virginia game. He gave us a little bit of notice. But in my opinion, I think an ideal situation for him, if you had to do a lie detector test, either him or Foster would be the head coach in 16 or 17, and he wanted to coach against Tennessee in the Bristol Bowl. Your thoughts about that? Because not everybody is a Virginia Tech fan, and not everybody knows the inner workings like you do.
Well, I think in an ideal world, a perfect world, I think he did want to go one more year, coach against Tennessee and Bristol. That was on his bucket list, I think, and he wanted to go and coach at Notre Dame, which is going to happen next year as well. I think when Michael Brewer gets hurt and Kendall Fuller gets hurt and guys, C.J. Rivas doesn't get to come back and the defense is struggling a little bit, I think everything changed when they started losing games and then the fans started bickering a little bit and the noise was getting a little bit rough, and he decided he didn't want to have everybody pulling in different directions, and so that's when he decided maybe this is the best time to do it. So the decision was made, and then I guess after the Boston College game, up in B.C. the next day, Sunday, I think it was November 1st, he decided to go ahead and announce. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it came down, and I think he would have probably liked to have coached one more year, make it nice 30 even, but it didn't work that way, and I think he kind of felt like that was the way to handle it, and, of course, he's been great about that all his career, doing what's best for everybody else, it seems like.
You're totally right. And if anybody deserved one more year, it was Coach Beamer, regardless. I know his health has not been great. It's pretty obvious when you see him during the interviews. He's not 100%, but I think a well-rested Coach Beamer can definitely benefit Virginia Tech in the future and also football. But you've been around sports a long time, Mike. I mean, as a player, as a broadcaster, you've seen a lot of different programs at a lot of different levels. And it's only going to be natural some of the juniors and seniors so used to seeing Coach Foster around. If they've got an issue at the beginning, especially in spring practice or rotations, hey, Coach, I don't like the way we're doing it, and they confide in Foster. Do you think that's going to be nipped in the bud pretty early, or do you think there might be some of that with some of the veteran players that were so used to Beamer and Foster? Because Foster's a polarizing presence.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I think maybe more so with the seniors because some of those guys will be set in their ways and they're thinking, I was going to ride on out of here in an easy street. But I went through a coaching change as well when I was after my sophomore year. They changed coaches from obviously from Jerry Claiborne to Charlie Coffey, and it was exciting for me because as a receiver, as a tight end, we had a more open-minded offensive guy, and worked out great for me. And so I think, that'll be the case with some guys, and some guys will be set in their ways. But I think for all those guys that are backups, second-team guys, everybody kind of starts with a clean slate. And so I think for most of them it's going to be exciting that, hey, maybe I got overlooked. Maybe I'm going to start with a chip on my shoulder, and maybe I'll have an opportunity to show something that the other group didn't see. So I think you got to look at it from the positive way, and I think most of them will. I think everybody's excited about the new life, the new energy that the staff will bring. And again, having some of the older guys to blend in, I think has helped.
I think it's good timing, too, because he's got a few months before spring practice, and they can evolve and build those one-on-one relationships that are going to be so important before spring practice even starts.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're all hot and heavy now recruiting, trying to get that class lined up. I think it's exciting when you look at Virginia Tech's offense with guys like Isaiah Ford and Bucky Hodges, and the fact that you're only losing one offensive lineman, and you got all the running backs back. And I tell you, the offense is going to be good next year. It was a little disappointing this year with the injuries and whatnot on defense. I mean, giving up 52 points in the bowl game, that's not Virginia Tech defense. So clearly there's got to be some work done on that side of the ball and make sure everybody's on the same page, because sometimes in that bowl game it looked like a Chinese fire drill out there.
Yeah, because
no offense to the Chinese.
Right, because Coach Foster had a look on his face like, wow, I didn't acquit myself too well with Coach Fuente early, but you never know. I'm sure they'll put that game behind them, but the defense has not been as good as it's been in the past, that's for sure. Talking to Mike Burnop, who's the color analyst for football and basketball for Virginia Tech, worked with Bill Roth for so many years. Now you're working with Lays, and you seem like y'all haven't missed a beat, but of course it's hard to beat the chemistry you and Bill had.
Oh, yeah. Well, that took many, many years to build, and Bill's doing good out at UCLA, and Lays has worked out great. He's been fantastic, and looking forward to finishing up basketball with him and just moving forward. So it's been fun, great transition so far.
Well, let me get your thoughts on the championship. I did tweet that out earlier, but Alabama wins again. Of course, they beat a very good Clemson team, and Clemson, of course, in the ACC, Alabama in the SEC, and those conferences definitely show they're two of the elite conferences. And Alabama and Saban, he's a perfectionist. He's never completely happy, and he made a good point as well earlier on the radio. He said, if this was the first game giving up, so many points, we wouldn't have been happy, but it was a national championship and they were happy to get the win. But he's never, being a type A, triple A personality he's never going to be completely happy.
No, but gosh, you can't argue with the success that guy's had. I mean, 4 championships in 7 years. I had the score Greg picked at 42-31. Alabama, I thought their special teams and their defense would be the difference, and it kind of proved that way. It was kind of funny. I'll tell you this quick story. So I had 42-31, and so my daughter asked me. She remembered that I picked the final score, the exact score, when Texas played and beat Southern Cal a few years back. She remembered that. Mm-hmm. And so she said, what do you think the score is going to be? So I said 42-31. So that's 73 points. So she's at work in Vegas this week, and she put a $10 bet down on the point total. 73-78 was the margin. So the score was 50, or what was it, 50-45? What was the final?
Anyway,
it was 45-40.
Right.
45. Right. So it was 45-33. So that was 78. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting there, and she's going to win this. She put a $10 bet down and win like 300, right? So then Clemson scores with 12 seconds left and blew that.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't help the Burnop family too much there.
That was funny, though.
It is funny. Talking to Mike Burnop, who does the color analyst on radio for Virginia Tech, Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson. This is Sports Scene. I want to talk to you, too, about college football and all the bowls compared to the NFL. It's amazing, Mike, and and you can look at that neutrally because Tech was not involved in the Final Four. But the NFL is so big with Kansas City, New England, Seattle, Carolina, Green Bay, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Denver. Of course, this region consumed by the Redskins and their loss to the Packers. That it was almost like the championship on Monday. Okay, let's get to it now that the NFL is not being talked about. The NFL is so big. And then the Thursday night games, I really think, are starting to hurt the popularity a little bit of college football because the ratings on the NFL compared to college is really no comparison.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. It has hurt. But the crazy thing is that it has hurt, but in spite, you look at those NFL games, and there was hardly one of them worth a hoot on a Thursday night. There were either blowouts or just lousy games.
Right.
So it just shows you the incredible popularity of the NFL.
Yeah.
And how big it is. And of course, it's a national thing where sometimes you get a regional game in college, like an ACC game. Well, some of those people out west could care less about that, or the Midwest West. So, yeah, the NFL kind of does rule, and it is a big-time product. I'm really looking forward to this weekend, to those games.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, I want to get your thoughts, too, on D'Angelo Hall. How many more years do you think he's got left?
Very few.
With the Redskins, yeah.
Yeah, very few. I mean, obviously his skill set has declined a little bit, and he's had some injuries, and, boy, the older you get, the tougher they are to get over those. Mm-hmm. And, obviously, they kind of realized he couldn't be a cornerback anymore, but, he's still a heck of a player and very talented, and I hope he can play as long as he wants, and he goes out on top. I mean, it was good to see him back in the playoffs.
Right, and I want to switch gears, and we'll get you on again in a few months, but I want to talk about your basketball team real quick. Buzz has really got a nice buzz about Virginia Tech. Got a winning record. They beat Virginia recently, didn't do too well against Duke. Got a big game against, I believe, Wake Forest tonight. And really, Virginia Tech basketball is relevant again. Yeah,
it is, and he's doing it in spite of having some guys out. Losing Chris Clark, a terrific player from down the 757, is hurt. He broke his foot over Christmas. And then, obviously, not having a Med Hill, who had knee surgery back in August, and probably going to redshirt him because he's not quite back to 100%. If you had those two guys, you'd feel really, really good. But winning your first 2 ACC games at home was big. Not playing well at Duke is no surprise. Duke's going to do that to a lot of teams. They're really talented. And this game tonight against Wake at 9 o'clock will be big. You got to protect your home court in this league, and hopefully they can steal some on the road. But he definitely has them going in the right direction, without question.
Absolutely. Mike, thanks. Like always enjoy hearing you on the radio. Consider you a friend, and you're a gentleman. That's more important. And all the best to the Hokies and Hokie Nation.
Sounds good, Greg. Good being on with you again, and take care of yourself, my man. We'll see you down the trail.
Very good, Mike. Thank you so much. Mike Burnop right there from the Virginia Tech Radio Network, does football and basketball both so well right here as we hear him on Sports Scene. This is Sports Scene, live at 12:21 on News Talk 1650, tunein.com, type in WHKT, all powered by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Stay tuned.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
All right, don't forget to save the date for the Newport News Greek Festival, June 2nd to June 5th. For more, go to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. Of course, nice to talk to Mike Burnop, the color commentator for the Virginia Tech Hokies. This is Sports Scene every Wednesday noon to 1. Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson on the station that carries the Norfolk Admirals. And let's welcome the general manager of the Admirals and the Tides, Joe Gregory. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Very good. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Let's talk about your Admirals are off till about next week back home, but big weekend coming up next weekend. And how has the transition been, Joe, from one league to another? First of all,
it's been a bit of a learning experience. Just get comfortable in the one league and the way things are done. And here in the ECHL, we have a lot more hands-on with player personnel and transactions and things like that, and just kind of relearning those ways. But overall, transition's going well. Kind of got off to a rough start there with some wins and losses, but had some players called up, got some guys back, and now in January we won 4 of our first 5. So hopefully we find a good little groove here and start getting more W's.
And I think the fans, of course, like the consistency of the Admirals and the Tides. And, of course, we're talking Admirals because it's hockey, it's winter season. This is the time where hockey thrives. The fans like to see good hockey. They got a consistent product at the Scope. They've got a good atmosphere there. And I think that's what's really most important, whether it's a single A, double A, or triple A version of hockey. People like consistency, and the Admirals have been consistent.
Yeah, I think, the important thing is it's, professional hockey. It's affiliated hockey. These guys are, this isn't their side job. They're not mowing lawns in the off season. These guys this is their living. This is their profession. We are technically owned by the Edmonton Oilers, so we have the backing of an NHL team behind us. And so, these guys know that, they're still part of the system that, can help them progress to the next level, whether that's the AHL or NHL. These guys are on the radar of, NHL teams. And I think that's one of the big things is knowing that these guys are out there, working on their craft, working to get to the next level. You're seeing the best effort out of pro hockey players every time you're coming to Scope.
We're talking to Joe Gregory, the general manager of the Tides and the Admirals. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. And, of course, with Ken Johnson at 12:25, this station carries the Admirals also on tunein.com. Type in WHKT to subscribe. Your thoughts as far as sustaining at the ECHL level, is that still the immediate goal, future goal? What are your thoughts about the future as far as hockey in Hampton Roads?
We have a 3-year lease here at Scope. Mm-hmm. So, for the next 3 years, you're going to have ECHL hockey here. What happens beyond that, whether, we continue on with Edmonton as an ECHL franchise or something different, only time will tell on that. The great thing about hockey here in Hampton Roads is, has such a strong history going back to the 70s when Scope opened with the Tidewater and Virginia Wings. Into the 80s where the Admirals came onto the scene in 1989. With Blake Cullen bringing hockey back. This area has great history when it comes to hockey. So I think people in the hockey world understand that and appreciate it and know that it's a good place to have their players develop and work on their game.
Talking to Joe Gregory right here on Sports Scene. Don't forget gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Joe, when you took over both the Admirals and the Tides, working so hand-in-hand with Ken Young, is this pretty much what you envisioned several years later down the road? I know you're always busy, always coming and going, and you got a really good staff at both organizations working for you. It's a total team effort. But as we talk here in January 2016, are you pleased the way it's gone for you personally the last several years? Or are you looking to, maybe go somewhere else in the future?
No, I mean, I love living in Hampton Roads. Bought a house here a couple years back, and personally for me, I grew up driving down here from Ohio since I was 2 years old, vacationing in Sandbridge. So it's great to be able to live and work where you vacation. So that's great. I remember I went to a Tides game when I was on vacation. I was probably the only kid in Youngstown, Ohio, wearing a Tides hat. So, I'm lucky to be in the position I'm in, and, hopefully I'm able to keep doing that for, as long as possible.
So much is about the entertainment dollar now. I mean, you see the Rams are coming back to Los Angeles. I'm personally excited about that. They're going to have a state-of-the-art stadium in a few years where the fan experience, you can do so much at home with your phones, your computer, and so much that it really evolves, the experience of one-line stuff. Are the Tides and Admirals looking to evolve more like that into the future? And do you see that as a constant competition as far as in-person attendance for both sports?
Yeah, I mean, something that's always top of mind. I mean, I think we're lucky here that baseball and hockey, for me, are two of the best sports to see in person.
Right.
And I'm a big football fan. I grew up playing it and coaching it, and I've had season tickets in the NFL. But with, fantasy and with, just the setup, it's a lot of times I'd rather be at home watching it and, watching the ticket or the Red Zone channel or all that, where with the minor league level, especially, I think it's more about the experience at the ballpark. You're coming out to hang out outside on a nice day and watch some fireworks, and, you're not there worrying about your fantasy team. And on the hockey side of things, I think hockey's the best sport if you want to watch like action live. It's always been tough as far as the transition to TV. A lot of people, find it difficult to watch on TV because it is such a fast paced game where you see that in person. And I think that's something that, again, the in-arena experience is, very valuable. So as much as, you got to keep them entertained and, you got to have information available and, try to make Wi-Fi available and things along those lines. I think we're lucky with baseball and hockey are two that I think are still standing the test of time as being, better enjoyed in person rather than at home.
Well, how about for you personally? Because that's a lot of home games for the Tides and the Admirals. Do you sometimes say to your family, like, look, I'm taking a break tonight. We're going out to dinner. I can always get the score later. Because for them to expect you to go to every single home game for both teams, that's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, I've only missed a handful. This will be my 5th year with the Tides, and this is my 9th year, I think, with the hockey team. And I mean, it's usually a pretty big event if I'm not at a game. Whether it's a wedding or something that I got to be somewhere important. But for the most part, I'm at every game. It's 72 home games for the Tides and 36 for the Admirals, and not counting playoffs or exhibition or things like that. But it's part of the job, and going to work at a ballpark and an arena isn't a bad place to go to work.
No, not at all. Ken Young still 110% enthusiastic like he was. I mean, he's sustained for a long time, and that's sometimes rare at this level. And of course, he's got organizations in other parts of the country, as you well know, to other baseball teams. Your thoughts on him, and is he still as excited about the future? And what should we expect new with the Tides this year?
Ken's a great guy to work for. He's, as far as ownership in minor league sports, he's got a great reputation, deservedly so. He's got 5 baseball teams now that he operates, and our hockey team here. So he's just added the Biloxi Shuckers last year, was their first season, the AA team for the Brewers, and a new ballpark down there attached to a casino in Biloxi. So, I think, he's always has that drive, and, he's good at what he does. And so I don't see that changing anytime in the foreseeable future. He's, passionate about sports, passionate about, the entertainment and the food service and things like that. So it's, definitely a great guy to be part of his organization.
Mm-hmm. As far as anything new for the Tides this year, you're always tweaking that the menu on the concourse.
Yeah, I mean, you'll definitely see some new stuff there. Last year we got more into the barbecue side of things, where we smoke our own brisket and pork and things like that in our barbecue stand. And so I think in the second year of that, you'll see some expansion there. I think the biggest change this year is obviously the logo and the colors and what we're doing there with mascots and things along those lines. So I think it's going to be a different visual experience for sure. Obviously on the merchandise side of things, we're going to have all new merchandise. So I think that's going to be the biggest impact coming up in this season.
Who gave the final stamp on the new logos? Because you look at some sports teams like, the Redskins or the Colts or the Raiders in the NFL level, they rarely ever change, the Packers for that matter. And the Tides traditionally are blue and white. And of course, you've done different Sunday uniforms over the years as well, with the Orioles especially, more so than when they were part of the Mets. So who gave the final stamp approval, and whose idea was it?
I mean, it's a group approach for sure. Ken's got to be on board with anything we do. Myself and some of the guys in the office and women in the office, we all put in our information. But minor league sports is different. I mean, the teams you mentioned, the Colts, the Packers, the Redskins, I mean, those are, very traditional teams in a traditional sport where, on the minor league baseball side of things, we're a different product. If you look at, what they've done in Richmond or Lehigh Valley or, El Paso or, any of these AAA markets, it's about, bringing some fun and, bringing a little different atmosphere to the ballpark. And you're right, the Tides had, been traditionally blue for so long, but that's because we were a Mets team for so long. And, it makes sense that we incorporate some orange, when guys are coming down from Baltimore and they've got orange gloves and orange spikes, makes sense for, us to have some orange in there and not be so heavy on the blue. And if you look at the other Orioles affiliates, whether it's Delmarva, Bowie, Frederick, Aberdeen, they're all orange and black. We're the one that stood out, as being, why aren't we in that, same color palette? So the nice thing is we are able to kind of embrace the affiliation with Baltimore while still keeping our own, color scheme. We have a unique color scheme for all of minor league baseball, if not sports in general. So it's good to just be part of that Orioles family, but also keep our own identity.
What are your thoughts about Piazza, of course, and Griffey in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, obviously well-deserved. On the Piazza side, it's great to see another former Tide, make it into the Hall of Fame. He didn't, have a storied career here in Norfolk. It was a rehab stint here for 5 games, but still he was at Harvard Park wearing the Tides uniform. So it's, great to see that. And Griffey, no-brainer there. I think it was everybody but 3 votes put him in, and, great to see that. Hopefully, I would have liked to see more than 2 guys get in, and I think there's some guys that are kind of on the cusp there that you're going to see, get in the next couple of years, but, can't argue with those 2 guys.
I want to leave you with the entertainment dollar. You see the giant golf thing right there on 264, all the movies, people more mobile now on their phones, their computers, online, the oceanfront during the summer. There's a lot of competition for the entertainment dollar, concerts, and so forth. Is that something that's constantly in staff meetings when you guys do have staff meetings? How do we compete against the ever so much powerful phone, in-person experience, and, of course, the entertainment dollar with so many different entertainment venues on both sides of the water?
Yeah, no, and that's one of the great things about this market is there are so many things to do here. On the hockey side, I got to be conscious of ODU or Norfolk State or, whether it's basketball or football, but you're right, whether it's Top Golf or going to the movie or going out to dinner, people have a lot of choices and, free time is very valuable and, where they're going to spend their entertainment dollars is always, going to be, going to be divided up amongst a lot of opportunities. But for us, it's great because, we are the only 2 pro sports teams in Hampton Roads. So, if you're looking to go out and see some guys that are going to move up to the next level, or if you just want to come out and, watch some fireworks or, whatever it is, like this next homestand, we're doing Pink in the Rink, where we dye the ice pink for a fundraiser for Susan G. Komen. We have that little niche on pro sports, and, we just make sure we take it to the next level with also the charitable side and the fun side, and, really make it a no-brainer to want to come out to one of our games.
Of course, you used to live a few hours away from Columbus, Ohio, and you've seen their big arenas there. What are your thoughts about the Virginia Beach Arena? It seems like to me a lot of the people necessarily didn't shout out for it because they've got the ocean front there. That's always going to be superseding anything during the spring and the summer. There's no necessarily a professional sports tenant there. But your thoughts on that? Is it good for the area? Is it bad? What are your thoughts on that?
We'll see. I mean, you've seen arenas work in other markets without primary tenants. The arena in Kansas City seems to do well without a major league franchise in there. So I think it's something that opens up some more opportunities. Maybe get to some better concerts. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I for one, I'm always looking for something new and different to do. So if that brings in a concert that maybe would have skipped us over in the past, then hopefully that just makes the quality of life a little bit higher around here.
Joe, thanks for all that you do in the area for both franchises and the community at large, and continued success and good health with the Admirals and the Tides both.
Great. Yeah, thanks for having us on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Joe Gregory right there, the general manager of the Tides and Admirals, elaborating on his two franchises and talking the entertainment dollar as well. Don't forget to save the date each Wednesday for the best back-to-back talk shows in Hampton Roads. Sports Scene, this show from 12 to 1, followed by the Sports Philosophy Show at 1 o'clock, both heard on News Talk 1650 and on TuneIn.com by typing WHKT in the search box. A locals tradition is CP Shuckers with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime ribs, seafood, pasta, burgers, wings, and much more. Chef Leon has his bar bites tonight on Wednesday night. Monday night is wing and shrimp night. Tuesday is crab leg night. Wear your college team attire during college basketball team on Saturdays, and of course get half off all pitchers on Saturdays as well. CP Shuckers is your home for the NFL playoffs as well in the big game. Go by and see all the great playoffs going on this weekend as well. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball. Like both locations on Facebook and log on to cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Sports Scene on 1650 and tunein.com. Type in WHKT.
Long's Billiards in Newport News is having a massive sale. 7, 8, even 9-foot tables are at an all-time low price, including Connolly, Brunswick, and Olhausen. 1,000 pool cues in stock are up to 30, 40, even 50% off. Over 100 pool tables also on sale. When gone, they're gone forever. Log on to longsbilliards.com. Call 599-3661 and visit them at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Major clearance prices going on now at Long's Billiards.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always by U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
And want to thank our two great guests so far. Mike Burnop, color commentator for Virginia Tech. Of course, his basketball team doing very well so far, including beating Virginia. And Joe Gregory, of course, the general manager of the Tides and Admirals right here in Hampton Roads. Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson. It was a pleasure working with Joe Buck and the A Crew on Fox this past weekend. Green Bay, of course, beat the Redskins, but of course the Redskins did make the postseason, and all the best to them in the future. Very exciting day as the LA Rams are back in Los Angeles. Indianapolis. Don't forget, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Shop on the Marketplace sponsors. Save the date each Wednesday for Sports Scene from 12 to 1. Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Browse, shop, and visit. Alabama, of course, winning 45-40 over Clemson. Redskins lose to the Packers. NFL playoffs this weekend. Coaching changes galore coming up in the NFL, NBA, and, of course, college basketball in full swing right now as, of course, we get ready for Sonny Dearth in just a moment. Introducing lunch at Outback every bloomin' day with your favorites like Aussie tacos made with chicken, fish, or steak, or try the new ribeye melt topped with bacon, cheddar, and garlic aioli, all in a toasted artisan bun with over 70 lunch combinations starting at only $6.99. It's now lunch at last at Outback, 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. The place to go. They'll take care of you. 757-523-4832. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. The best Outback Steakhouse in Hampton Roads is at 1255 Fordham Drive in Virginia Beach. Kenny, I know you grew up in Virginia Beach. You love Outback, and of course, it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Or I should say, since it is Outback Steakhouse. Crikey, Marty's lovely.
There you go. I could do a whole hour with Ken doing voice impersonations. And, of course, we'll get to that and what teased me off a little bit later, too. Breaking news here, folks. Long's Billiards, 7, 8, 9-foot pool tables for $500 off right now in their showroom only. You have to go by the showroom at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. Give them a call at 599-3661. Perfect for your man cave or the big football games or for your dorm room, apartment, house, condo. $500 off 7, 8, 9-foot pool tables. Go by and see Keisha or Scott at Long's Billiards at 599-3661. Right there in the Hilton Village section of Newport News at 9906 Warwick Boulevard. $500 off. Unbelievable. All right, let's welcome Sonny Dearth, regular since 1988 on radio and TV from dailypress.com. How are you, my friend?
Excellent. Thanks, Greg. Ken?
Very good, very good. How about let's start off with Alabama. Saban continues to roll.
Yeah, that was just a really enthralling game. They couldn't have asked for a better contest. Deshaun Watson showed how good he was for Clemson, and O.J. Howard, who I'd never heard of before the game, made himself a star with over 200 yards receiving.
Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on year 2 of the Final Four, how the college football worked out pretty well in your opinion?
Yeah, it seems like it is. I think 4 is probably the right number of teams. Mm-hmm. 8 maybe would work, but certainly no more than 8 for that. It's getting rough to draw all these fans to travel so far, and I wish they would change the date from New Year's Eve because that's probably interfering with a lot of people's plans.
Right, in fact, the ratings too. And Saban said a lot of great points too. Of course, he's a perfectionist. That it's very difficult for college kids to sustain that type of energy and intensity for 15 games. I mean, the NFL only plays 16. Of course, they play 4 preseason. College does not do that. But still, these are college kids. They're not getting paid for the most part. And it's just amazing for them to keep that intensity, especially for teams at that elite level.
Oh, it was good quality of play. I don't think anybody can complain about that. Outstanding football.
Mm-hmm. All right, your thoughts moving towards college basketball. Virginia struggled a little bit, got a nice win against Miami, but Virginia Tech, as we talked to Mike Burnop, seemed like they found a nice buzz there with Coach Buzz.
Yeah, the Hokies have been pretty good. Gosh, it's an honor to follow Mike Burnop, a guy I've listened to so often through the years, and he was pointing out that they lost Chris Clark and Ahmed Hill, mm-hmm. and they're still doing as well as they can. And I think tonight's game with Wake will tell us a lot. For once, they're actually favored by 1 point, mm-hmm. and this will be their chance to go to 3-1 in the conference. And if they can do that, they might seriously start having a shot at making the NCAA tournament.
And the great Danny Manning coaching Wake Forest, and they had great coaches like Skip Prosser and Cole Tacey in the past have been really good. So it should be a really nice game tonight between Virginia Tech and, of course, we talked about Beamer, leaving as well. What the perfect situation was. All right, let's try to play prognosticator, Sonny, as far as postseason. I want to give you your best bet. It's still early, but it's getting, as Yogi would say, it's getting late early here. Virginia Tech, VCU, Richmond, Old Dominion. Where do you think those teams will be in the postseason this year?
ODU is not going to get an at-large bid, but they're very capable of winning the Conference USA tournament if they play well. Other than that, they're going to have to, if they don't win the CUSA tournament, they're going to have to go to a lesser event. Hopefully for them it would be the NIT. Richmond and VCU, that'll be interesting. They play each other Saturday at the Robins Center. VCU struggled early with a lot of close non-conference losses against good teams, but the Rams have gotten much better lately, and I think they'll be in the running for an at-large bid if they can keep their role going. Richmond's a little below that pace, but still very competitive. UVA should make the tournament with no problem. It's just a matter of where they will be seated.
Wade and Mary, of course, got a big win earlier this year against NC State. And you look at outside the region a little bit, Georgetown's really struggled this year as well.
Yeah, they've had some ups and downs, that's for sure. Losing to Radford, among others. Even Mary definitely will contend for the CAA tournament. And the CAA has had a really good year. But I still don't think that's going to translate into a second tournament bid. And that's kind of unfortunate because, to see the Colonial Athletic Association with a number 7 rating among 32 conferences is just outstanding. But it just seems like there's not one team that's been dominant enough to merit an at-large bid.
Right.
They've had win the tournament.
They've had a couple before in the past, but it's been few and far between as well. Talking to Sonny Dearth as well. Your thoughts on the Rams back to LA? I'm excited personally, as you can tell.
I'm glad you are. I didn't really pay that much heed, to be honest with you. I think it's unfortunate for St. Louis to lose a team. Certainly it's good for LA to get one, but I think it'll be kind of a shame if San Diego loses one too. I mean, does LA really need 2 teams when they've been getting through with 0? I'm just not sure what's going to happen with that.
No, I think San Diego and the Raiders in 2016 will be back where they belong. The Rams, were originally, the LA Rams for so many years with Lawrence McCutcheon and James Harris and Slater and so many great Rams players. Chuck Knox was there. I mean, I'm glad personally they're back. St. Louis is always going to be a baseball town. Anybody will tell you that. Jay Randolph, we've had on this show several times, former voice of NBC, and the Cardinals has said that too. But it still hurts to lose a team, but we'll see what happens. Sonny, all the best, my friend. We'll be talking to you very soon.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Sonny, one more thing. You still there?
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts too on the Australian Open coming up as well.
The men's favorite by far is Novak Djokovic. He's actually an odds-on favorite. That's how highly regarded he is. On the women's side, if Serena's healthy, she's definitely the favorite, but her knee's given her a lot of problems. I think Victoria Azarenka is going to be a real threat to win this. And if there's a guy who could come out of nowhere and challenge Djokovic, obviously Federer and Nadal and Murray could. But the guy to watch out for who's never won a major, I think, is Milos Raonic of Canada.
Yep, Serena's unbelievable. The decade she sustained. Sonny, all the best, my friend.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Sonny Dearth right there. All right, this is Sports Scene on 1650 AM. Also, tunein.com, type in WHKT. And, of course, all the playoffs going on this weekend. Kansas City, of course, got a big game against New England. And Bill Belichick, Pittsburgh, of course, and all their great games as well against Denver, and just a lot of good football going on in the playoffs. You got to love the NFL playoffs, Green Bay and Arizona, Seattle and Carolina. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at newcastlecollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Tune in to the Sports Philosophy Show featuring former professional sports general manager and NCAA sports announcer Jack Ankerson, along with 22-year NCAA coach Darryl Cummings. They have unique and insightful views on sports and will talk to guests throughout the sports world. The Sports Philosophy Show can be heard Wednesday 1 to 2 p.m. on WHKT 1650 AM in Hampton Roads and worldwide using the TuneIn.com radio app. For more information, go to thesportsphilosophy.show.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
I see you move, I'm checking your smile, working your back.
All right, welcome back to Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1, live on News Talk 1650, tunein.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer, and subscribe. Go to gjbtv.com, hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine, 10417 Warwick Boulevard in the Hilton Village section. Of course, great chicken, beef, lamb, turkey, vegetable dishes, wraps, kids menus, desserts, savory kebabs, delicious salads and stew. Give them a call at 223-9978. Open daily for lunch and dinner in the Hilton Village section of Newport News. Find them on Facebook and Twitter. Go say hello to David at Saffron Mediterranean Cuisine at 10417 Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. And let's welcome Brad Mattox from Chick-fil-A. How are you, Brad?
Hey, good.
Good to talk to you, my friend. Of course, you're right there in Edinboro. Talk about the Chick-fil-A. You got a great location there.
Absolutely. So right now, we have a couple of promotions going on.
What's that?
We got a Monday, which is from 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. or a.m., and that is the purchase of an entree, and you get a free coffee with that.
Nice. And of course, Chick-fil-A, of course, open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and of course, great sandwiches. I guess the consistency of the menu is what people love the most about Chick-fil-A, right, Brad?
Absolutely. Can't get any better than that.
And, of course, you're on Facebook, and also Chick-fil-A's all over college football in the bowls as well, and on Twitter, too. So right there in Edinboro, of course, easy to find, and really there's something for everyone, a great kids menu, too.
Absolutely. Especially our kids' night, which is every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Very good. Brad, thank you so much for giving us an update, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, Kenny, let's get to What Tees Me Off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
How about this whole Sean Penn El Chapo thing, Kenny? Really, Sean Penn? I mean, you're the most irrelevant actor I've ever seen in my life, and you're going to go talk to the biggest drug lord in the history? Really? What about the timing, Kenny?
He hasn't had much of a hit in a few years. I guess he feels he has to do anything to try to stay in the spotlight. The marriage to Madonna didn't work out, so he has to do something. He does not think like you or I. Sean Penn has had some great acting roles. He's had some stinkers, too. He's hot and cold, and he just does not seem to think very clearly sometimes.
Probably the most unfriendliest actor in the history of show business. All right.
You didn't meet Richard Chamberlain, did you?
No, I did not.
Good thing you didn't.
All right, yeah. How about him and Irving Hill having a conversation?
Oh, Lord.
There you go.
Those egos wouldn't fit in the same room.
Speaking of dead ends, Kenny, dead ends in business areas. One thing for residential, Ken, but when you go into a business area and you see these dead ends in shopping centers and you can't get back on the road, what about the fire and the policemen? They have to get back on the road.
Yeah, the poor designs in some cases. Maybe there was a plan to have something adjacent to it, and that was going to lead to it. But either way, you should make sure there's an exit to it. Or shopping centers that close off most of the parking lot and most of the primary exits to repave the parking lot on the day before Christmas.
Right. Oh, by the way,
that was genius.
Our good friends, at Smoking Q's, Kamani, and all the good people over there say hello. So yeah, cool. Good people over there. Waiting on hold with bogus music, Ken.
Some of the on hold music. Now at studio, they have little mini joke things and productions going on to listen to. They're fun. In fact, I hate it when they take me off. Oh, wait, I'm not done listening. But yeah, to have some kind of cheesy music is just not happening. Come on, pay attention and make people happy.
Right. Being stuck at traffic lights so long, you start to see the habits of the person in the car next to you.
Oh,
that's awkward, Kenny. You know it is.
They always talk about timing the lights. Well, let's have a addressable, synchronized, computerized traffic signal system that knows when it's 2:30 in the morning and there's no traffic and will let you through it versus 5:14 in the afternoon on a Friday when there's a lot of traffic. So you're not sitting at that light at 2:30 in the morning like it's 5:41 in the afternoon on a Friday.
But you don't want to see the person next to you anyway. So there you go.
Yeah.
Owners who insist you try a dish in a restaurant when in reality you don't want it or like it, but they insist you get it. Really? Okay. Ken, potholes that look like sinkholes.
Yeah, there's quite a few craters out there, Virginia Beach. Get out there and get busy with them.
Wood-fired pizza at restaurant, more or less, it's glorified toast or an English muffin.
Yeah, if you
I mean, seriously, it's not wood-fired pizza, folks. Come on.
If you haven't had Wolfgang Puck's, you haven't had good wood. He does it right. He knows how to do it right without turning it into a sacrificial type. It's not a burnt offering. But some places, yeah, it's just like, let's take a piece of toast and put a blowtorch on it and we're done.
Sporting events that start at night and end the next morning. Really? I mean, seriously. I mean, the East Coast does not care, okay? Sitting next to patrons at a restaurant and being forced to hear bogus conversations. I mean, really awkward conversations because your tables are so close to next to each other.
You.
And you're at a party. Let's say you bring the family there and you're hearing about somebody's miserable day.
Oh, yeah. That is, there should be some spacing there.
Absolutely. Spacing when you drive, too, as well. Thank goodness for visors and everything. I want to thank our great guests today. Really great show today. Mike Burnop, Joe Gregory, Sonny Dearth, as well as Brad from Chick-fil-A. Of course, talking. And Chick-fil-A is always evolving their menu, Ken. I understand they're getting rid of coleslaw, too. I love coleslaw.
They're getting rid of the coleslaw?
That's what I hear.
Oh, dude, don't do that.
Here's the thing in the South. You have to have this in the South at mom and pop restaurants, Kenny. You have to have fried chicken. You have to have a fish sandwich. And you have to have liver and onions. This is not New York, Chicago, or L.A.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the rundown on it. Fried okra in some places, but let's not even open that can of worms.
Right. I want to thank all our great guests as well as the great sponsors, gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. All powered by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Thanks again to Fink's Car Care, Me Hogar, Crawl Space, Spaghetti Eddie's, Newcastle, Long's Billiards, as well as Saffron, Outback, and CP Shuckers. We'll be back again next Wednesday from 12 to 1. Sports Philosophy Show's coming up at 1 o'clock. For Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. Happy Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon. AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth, it's 1 p.m.